Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye. Right? In a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all. So that way you're directing the direction of the dope content I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I could say I'm very humbled. And I'm very much appreciative, man. I know I couldn't make it without you or do it without you. So thank you. Excuse the difference in the get down right here on the channel. I wanted to try a little something different. And I wanted to talk about yesterday's events. Okay, yesterday's events, man, they were pretty it was tragic. It was tragic that people lost their lives. It was a tragic event, a historical event that happened yesterday. And I got a difference of opinion with a lot of people on what I believe happened. And I wanted to hit a different angle, man. I know a lot of people are talking about the assassination attempt or what they're saying happened as far as a shooter shooting at Trump. So let's get down to the basics, and then I'm going to give you my take on what I believe truly is unfolding, and a lot of people are missing it, right, for whatever reason. Now, yesterday, Trump was holding a rally in, I believe, Pennsylvania, and the rally had just started. And in the midst of this rally, shots were fired, okay? And Trump was targeted for whatever reason, whether it was hatred, a lack of understanding. But this young man who has been, he's a 20-year-old man who has been identified as someone who has mental issues, someone who was bullied, decided for whatever reason to shoot at the former president, right? The Republican candidate. And, you know, I can't lie and say I didn't see this one coming. I seen this one coming. You know, I talked with Dubs, a few of my family members, just a couple weeks back. And my theory was because Trump is leading in a lot of the polls, or because people dislike him or despise him for whatever reasons, the only option or angle I seen next was for someone to get in their feelings and their emotions and decide that they no longer wanted him on this earth with us, right? And it happened. It happened. I mean, Stevie Wonder seen this one coming, right? Now, luckily, I think it was a divine intervention. Trump turned at a certain angle at just the right time. And timing is key. Timing is everything, man. And the bullet grazed his ear. Unfortunately, someone else in the crowd did lose their life. And when this first happened, it was being reported that from liberal stations that it was just Trump tripping, or that he fell, or I heard everything from CO2 pellet guns and just a lot of different theories. Ultimately, now it is coming out that, and you know, it takes time to decipher what's going on. They're not going to give you the actual factuals 5 minutes after it happened. But now there's no need to hide or sugarcoat or add preservatives to anything. Ultimately, it was an assassination attempt. That's what it was. This guy intended to shoot the former president. Shit like this is not the first time, right? When people don't agree with your policies, your political views, your agenda, or they're just straight crazy, they're gonna, do crazy shit. Is it a historical event in America? It is. It is. Whether you like Trump or you don't, the fact is, man, that you don't never let violence take control of a situation. This young man decided to, basically let violence be the reason, and he ultimately was killed by a sniper. Now let's talk about the situation. You know, in all my times watching these rallies and everything, and just knowing what I know about politics and about the get down, it's very hard, very, very hard to get in close proximity to a president when they're doing a speech. I mean, the Secret Service, they sweep the areas. They actually go to these areas sometimes weeks in advance to listen in on conversations, to make sure that people are not threatening. They pretty much fill in every crack, every different angle that can be conceived is monitored, watched, and they put preventative measures out there so that way things like this don't happen. Somehow this happened anyways. Somehow this guy is reported by some people that they actually watched him climb the building with the gun, and they were reporting this to the Secret Service, to the cops, and nothing was done. Ultimately, this guy was able to get off, I think it was 8 shots before he was killed. And it's just unfortunate, and that makes you really truly think that this was meant to be, that this was an inside job or whatever. There's a lot of theories. There's going to be a lot of people, conspiracy theorists, that say, I've heard that it's a false flag. I've heard that, it was planned by Trump himself to get shot in the head, right? That this was part of an agenda to make the other side look bad so that way he could win in the elections. We're talking about someone who was winning the popular vote already. He in the polls, he had a massive lead. And I think people are frustrated with, Joe Biden's performance as president and basically his mental state, right? And, I'm not against Biden nor Trump. I'm right down the middle, but I'll say it like this, and this is facts. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see a person that's deteriorating right in front of your eyes, And it's pobrecito Biden. It's not his fault that he has early stages of dementia or Alzheimer or whatever he has. He definitely has something that we don't. And that's a lack of understanding these days. And we're talking about someone who's supposed to be the figurehead of our country, someone who's supposed to show strength and lead us, right? And when he doesn't have it in him anymore, and it's not his fault that he's gotten older and things happen, got nothing bad to say about the man. I'm not going to look deep into his history and speak on that because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to those who support him anyways. They're going to support him regardless. If he was gone, they'd support, his dead body. It's just what it is. And the same thing goes for Trump. You're not going to flip their supporters. You're not going to change their views on things. It just is what it is. But they didn't try to kill Joe Biden yesterday. They did Donald Trump. And unfortunately, that leads me to what I really am thinking in this situation. And here goes my theory on things, because I'm just a little bit different, right? I look at something like this from a different angle. I look at it from a spiritual angle. Okay, I'm a big proponent for the Bible. Okay, it's been my thing. I'm a believer. I'm Catholic. I never denied that. It's just what it is. And I've read a lot of books while incarcerated, the Bible front to back several times. And this event was in the Bible. Okay, this event also was in a series of books that I read called the Left Behind series when I was incarcerated. Somewhere along the line, I was doing time in the oil, and one of those books got passed in my direction, and I got hooked. And these books, the Left Behind series, if you haven't read them, I implore read them. They're a great series. And it's kind of a fictional take on Bible situations, and it's talking about the end of days, right? And in these books, there's a book. One of the books is called Nikolai, and it's talking about the Antichrist and what's going to happen at the end, how it's going to become one world order, and basically, in one of the chapters of the books, it says that there would be a man, a very powerful man, a prominent man, someone who is beloved by many, hated by a lot, and he was going to be on some grand stage, and he was going to be pierced in the head. Okay, now that book also goes on to say that when he's pierced in the head, he's going to die. He's going to pass away, right? Now, why is that relevant to what happened to Donald Trump yesterday? I believe Trump might be that man that the Bible's talking about, right? And I could be totally off base. This is just my take on shit, right? He was pierced, in the ear, close to the head. But in that book, it goes on to say that this man will pass. And in the Bible, it goes on to say the same story, that this man will pass and will be resurrected 3 days later and come back as the devil incarnate, right? Now, they say he's the Antichrist. I've heard a lot of things about Trump. I've heard a lot of things about Elon Musk, a lot of these powerful figures where people says the Antichrist is living amongst us. I don't know what's true. I just know what I hear and what I see, and I base my opinions off facts, right? And how people display themselves to me. I can't never judge no one or prejudge someone without knowing the facts. And that's just the type of world we should live in, is a factual based world. So anyways, I see this happens to Trump, and it automatically, the first thing I was thinking was, wow, right? Just like the book I read, just like the Bible I read several times that I truly believe in, and people are saying, well, he didn't die, gun, he's good. Who said he didn't? Who said that when they rushed him to the hospital, there wasn't something that, got stuck or lodged in his ear or in his head? We don't know. Ultimately, I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory and I could be fucking taking a whole different route than everyone else, but I'm just saying we have to really think about situations and how this world is falling apart around us and think bigger than just an event like this. You know, I truly believe we're in the end times. There's been so much to show us. So much has unfolded um, that leads me to believe, man, this world is crumbling around us, falling apart. And it's not because the world is dying, it's because the people are killing the world, right? With pollution, with attitude, with some of our agendas. We're not focused on helping each other as humans. We're more focused on tearing each other down. And it could start with the littlest thing. It could start in rap music or movies. But this world has definitely changed. And I don't see it getting any better. I don't give a shit who gets voted in as our president. That's not going to change nothing. All it's going to affect is our cost of living, um, which ultimately, I guess, does affect us. But things like that. But as far as what you do in your human life, your mentality, your DNA, your build, your makeup, what you got going on personally, it's not going to affect it. I've been through a lot of different presidencies. I remember Carter, I remember Reagan, Bush, both Bush, um, Clinton, been around from Obama to Trump to now Biden, a little bit of everyone. And I could truly tell you this: the only thing that has changed dramatically in all them times was eras, um, livelihoods, cost of living, things like that. At this point in the world, in the history, I think America's at its lowest point. We're looked at as a weak nation. See, back in our days in the 80s and 90s, we were one of the strongest nations. Nobody wanted to fuck with America. Nobody wanted no smoke with America. Definitely not. We were weaponried up, right? We had all the weapons. We had all the best scientists, the best schooling, the best education system. I mean, we definitely were up to par. Nowadays, it's ugly. Nowadays, there's more unhoused people than you'll ever see in your life. They're shitting on the sidewalks. Um, the drug epidemic, this fentanyl epidemic is crazy, to the point where they're actually passing out cans of Narcan in prisons to help people. It's wild, right? I've never seen it to this point. And I don't blame a president. I don't blame an administration. I blame us for caring more about ourselves than looking out for our fellow man. That's what it is. So, anyways, I believe that this is biblical, this event. I believe that this is a foretelling of what's to come. It's only going to get worse from here on out. Prepare yourselves. I'm a prepper. I definitely make sure I get my bags of rice and beans and water on point. Prepare yourselves. As people, you need to go out there and be fully aware that things like this don't just go away. Things like this accumulate. And this type of shit and shenanigans that are going on, no one expected, yesterday's rally for there to be a shooter. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, you're putting too much spin on a gun. It just is what it is. Vatos don't like them, so they took their shot. They should have never been allowed to take that shot, is what I'm saying. There's something more deeper and greater than just a young kid going up on a rooftop and taking a shot. There's a reason why Trump moved a certain way at a certain time. It's called divine intervention. He's here for a real reason, because he got hit like JFK got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing, right? So I say that to say this: the people that are more focused on, is this a false flag? Is this fakery? Is this an agenda to get voted in? Truly tell me, what do you win by becoming the president of the United States? What do you inherit but a lot of problems? A fucked up economy, countries that dislike us for whatever reason, and a whole lot of American people that are tired, stressed out, and can't afford to pay their rent on your doorstep screaming about your policies. It's really not a job to be envied, right? So why do people fight for this job? Is it power? Is it money? Because it definitely ain't the progression of the people, right? People fight for these jobs and they campaign is because they have a sense of direction that they want the country to go in. And when you have proven over time, over a 4-year period that your direction has failed, nobody wants to go that route anymore. That's like a person that keeps going down a dark road and it just gets darker and darker and darker. Nothing ever happens. You're wasting time. Time is limited. Time is money. We only have one life. We need to hurry up and get somewhere. With Donald Trump, his vision, and he's proven, that his policies, and albeit he's not a politician, so sometimes he puts his foot in his mouth. Sometimes he says things that a politician wouldn't say. But politicians are practiced. Politicians are going to tell you what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear. Politics in general, whether it's in prison or on the streets or in government, structure is good, but politics can get dirty. They can be utilized to dirty max someone, to wash someone up, to whack someone, to hurt someone's feelings. Deep down inside, I could tell you politics have never been a good thing in my life and those around me. But it is what it is. Everything is put in play for a reason. And at the end of the day, for those that believe, that Donald Trump, that his policies are not what they agree with, that's on them. That's cool. There's things I don't agree with as well. But there's more than less when it comes to Trump, right? But no human being, period, deserves to be assassinated just based on their character. If you don't like a person, turn the dial. If you don't like this message I'm bringing, go find Bigfoot. If you don't like hearing some real shit, then go listen to some real fake shit. It's just that simple. People believe in a make-believe world. They're Hollywood, no Diddy, right? They're constantly watching movies and not really seeing what's on screen. A lot of these movies, a lot of things that's happening in life, it's put out there to wake you up so that way you understand the world you're living in. These movies, they talk about, they talked about AI before AI. They talked about computers taking over, with movies like Terminator, war movies, movies like Red Dawn that showed, the invasions and how they were going to, and nowadays you notice that a lot of these movies are showing that, when the war does kick off, which is ultimately going to happen, there's no stopping it eventually, right? Maybe we won't see it in our lifetime, but I believe we will. They show you that, they're going to mess up our communication grid, knock out our internet. That's the way to fight nowadays. It ain't all about mustard gas and atomic bombs. Now it's about being able to coordinate and being able to reach each other. That's like people, man. There's people that will not give up their phone. They don't put their fucking phone down. They got their phones in their hands at all time. I got two of them. They got their phones in their hands because they want to be they don't want to be left out. They don't want to miss anything. They don't want that lack of communication. So in this era that we live in, if you take someone's phone away, or if you take someone's access to conversate or to interact, the internet, that's truly cutting everyone off from the world, and that hurts. And that's what that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna cut off the communication grid, and people are gonna be left in the dark. So I tell you, prepare yourself now, because what happened yesterday with Trump was the first shot fired, and what's only gonna get worse. I watched yesterday, 5 minutes after it happened. I think myself and Dubs went live, and we were talking about it, and I was astonished and fucking sick to my stomach on the people that were in there saying, damn, they missed, or man, I wish you would have. Why? What do you benefit off seeing another man's demise or seeing another man taken out? You're not thinking about his family. You're not thinking about, the type of mentality to think like that's sick. It's a sick individual, right? As people, as Americans, as just human beings, you have to have some compassion, some type of compassion. I'll get it. Donald Trump's an asshole. Let's be real. Some of the things he says, can be taken like, what? Bleach. You said bleach? You said practice, right? But at the end of the day, when that man got up after being shot and pumped his fist in the air, that solidified it for me that I'd rather have an individual like that leading me in whatever is going to happen than someone who shits his pants on stage. Okay. And I'm not trying to make fun of Joe Biden or nothing like that, but I'm keeping it real. You know, whether it's his fault or not that he's sick, and of course it's not. We need a leader that's strong, not someone who's temperamental and incoherent and screams just to scream out of the blue, right? We need someone who, when he screams, he's not screaming at you, but he's screaming to you, right? And I know a lot of people don't agree with Trump because he's outspoken and because he just the way he is, but he's a businessman. He's someone who's had to have hard negotiations around the world, someone who's built an empire. And of course, there's going to be people, well, he was given a silver spoon. Of course, man. We were all given something in life. It's what you do with it. Okay. I've seen people given millions of dollars and fuck it off dope. I've seen people, you know, my homeboy gave me a car one time. It was a brand new car of the year. He just gave it to me like, here, bro, I got you. And because in my fucking crazy state of mind, he gets locked up in the feds, and I thought, oh, he hid the dope in the car, right? I tore that whole fucking car apart looking for his dope. That was never there. You know what I mean? Sometimes people give you things. It's what you do with it. So I've lived 46 years on this planet, and I understand, man, what it is. You know, I've been locked up. I've been on the streets. I've been homeless. I've been lived in condos. I've had it all, and then I've lost it all, and then I've had it all again. Right now, I don't really have shit, but I'm trying to get there. Tip, and I'm good with that. But in order to do that, I need a good, stable economy, so that way I can provide for my family. And I think we all need that. And I think all of us deep down inside just want what's best for our children and want what's best for our society and our communities. But the only way we're going to get that is put our differences and our bullshit ways of thinking to the side and realize, let a man show you and prove to you rather than prejudge him. Okay. This kid tried to kill, and I say kid, he's a 20-year-old man. He's gone. He's no longer with us, but he still was young. Okay. And he tried to assassinate our president, or our presidential candidate, ex-president, right? For whatever his fucking crazy reasons were. And for anyone who's agreeing with that philosophy and, yeah, anybody can get touched, homie. And yeah, this ain't fucking prison. This ain't no gangster shit. This is real life. This affects everybody around you. See, these neighborhoods that we protect, and this is me right here, real life. These neighborhoods that we protect, these barrios that we claim, we don't own none of this shit. Nah, nope, zero. We don't own the calles that we fucking die for, that our fucking children are dying for. We don't own those. That ain't us. We pay taxes to fix the potholes in the street, but we don't own those, right? So if we're gonna sit there and scream, hey, our audio and this and that, then when a traumatic or a tragic incident like this happens in America, we can't condone that bullshit. We can't sit here and say, hey, you know, hey, I wish you would have got clipped, homie. Why? Does that make you sound cool because you said that? You're a cool guy, huh? You're a cool guy sitting in a neighborhood that you don't own, with it tattooed all over you, ready to die for it. It ain't ready to die for you. See, when you go, homie, them streets are still there. A few more potholes, but they're still there, right? And the next boss is going to come along talking about, yeah, I'm from right here. Take pride in where you're from. Be happy and embrace where you're from. Love your people. Love fellow man. But don't ever wish bad upon anyone else, man. That's bad juju, bad mojo, bad karma. It happens. Anyways, you know, my take on it was, it's unfortunate that this event had to happen. We're going to see what happens from here. But I seen something darker in this. I seen a bigger scheme to get rid of Donald Trump, and I think it was from within. There's no fucking way possible that no one's seen this guy, or they were able to, that Secret Service that are trained, that get paid, I mean, millions of dollars a year to protect this guy. And not only that, Donald Trump also has his own personal security, which they're not even touching on. People are not even thinking about that. And that this guy was able to get this close to shoot at Donald Trump. It's amazing, right? That just shows you how dirty it can get. And another question is for the White House that are not, they're scared to say, or just don't want to say, that this was an assassination attempt. They keep saying shooting or event or, the shooting at Donald Trump's rally. There was no shooting at Donald Trump's rally. There was an assassination attempt at Donald Trump's rally. We're being bullshitted. Okay? As gente, we're being bullshitted. Wake up. Don't be woke. Wake up. Wake your ass up. Levántate. Get up and realize that unless we hold it down and we go vote for the right candidate and we do what we do, this type of shit's going to keep happening. See, in other countries, they do that. Now, let me get on my political shit. In other countries, if they don't want you as the president, they just whack you, right? We're not a third world country. We're different. We got freedoms. We got democracy. We got the right to express ourselves. We're going to lose all that. Everybody's scared about Trump. Oh, if he gets in office, he'll be a dictator. He didn't do it the first time. He can't do it this time, right? He's going to deport or all the illegal aliens and this and that and the immigrants and whatever everyone's saying. Everyone's freaking out and they don't even know. They don't even know. You're going by what big media tells you because someone made that suggestion. But there's nothing to merit that. There's no concrete facts behind that. Okay? The fact is this. Donald Trump got shot yesterday. The fact is someone was able to get close. The fact is that as Americans, if we don't realize and put the hatred and the bias to the side, this country will fail. And that's a fact. Now, as far as my spiritual beliefs, I believe this was predestined. This is an event that had to occur to start the tribulation. But that's just me. And if you want to get into that, we can get more into that. Let me know. But read your Bible. It's facts. It's truth. And that's all I got to say, man. As far as Donald Trump goes, man, I hope he's all right, because he's a man, he's a person. And, stop. The White House needs to stop lying to the American people, man, and keep it real and call it like it is. This only makes me wonder more about them. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive, the struggle, the struggle, the strive. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy is the head that's not wearing the crown. But I'm going to continue to do what I do. And why am I dressed like this? Because I'm still on club mode. Last night, I was partying. I was gigging with tortas. I was doing my thing. And I didn't walk in the door till about 4, 5 in the morning and went straight to recording. You know what it is. This is the gun. Bang, bang.